You ever wake up thinking it's going to be just another day, and by lunchtime, your whole life's flipped upside down? That's how it went for me the morning the sheriff's cruiser rolled up, kicking up more dust than a herd of cattle in July. There I was, standing on my porch with a mug of black coffee, just soaking in that Colorado sunrise, when Deputy Morrison stepped out, looking tired before he even said a word, like he knew whatever he was about to deal with was going to be a mess. He gives me a nod. "Morning, Luke. Got a call about you refusing to leave property that's been sold." I nearly choked on my coffee. "That so, Deputy. Maybe you can tell me who sold it, 'cause I sure didn't." And then, of course, here comes Karen Belmont, marching up in her blinding white SUV, HOA president badge, shining like she thinks she's Wyatt Earp. Not a hair on her head out of place, even with the wind howling. She sticks out her phone and announces, real proud, "Officer, this man is trespassing on land that's been legally listed for sale, $3.2 million. Got buyers coming today." Deputy Morrison just looks at me, wishing he could disappear. "Ma'am, do you have proof of ownership transfer?" he asks. "Well, not yet, but the listing's up online." She flashes her phone like it's the Ten Commandments. I set my mug on the railing, trying not to laugh. "Deputy, my family's owned this ranch since 1875. I'd sure like to see who's claiming otherwise. You know what I mean?" That was just the opening act. That's when my story really started. I'm Luke Garrett, fourth-generation rancher, on 160 acres of the prettiest land you've ever seen. Mountain views that'll break your heart. My folks and theirs before me, we raised cattle, fixed fences, survived drought recession, you name it. Never once had a problem with a neighbor until Pine Ridge Estates popped up next door, a cookie-cutter nightmare full of folks who thought buying into an HOA made them kings. Karen Belmont moved in from California, got herself elected president in 2 minutes flat, and started running that place like it was her personal fiefdom. She'd been looking for a fight ever since. First shot, she fired my rooster, claimed it violated some noise ordinance, never mind the rooster's been here longer than her whole neighborhood. Next, it was the smell of manure dust from the cattle, my old barn, ruining her view. Every time I explained the laws for agricultural land, every time she stormed off muttering about property values like she was reciting scripture. But nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared me for the morning. Deputy Morrison showed up, talking about my land being sold. After Karen stomped off, Morrison pulled up the listing on his phone. There it was, my ranch plastered across 3 different real estate sites, complete with photos. I never took descriptions, making it sound like I was desperate to sell. Historic ranch ready for luxury development. Motivated seller. My stomach dropped. Drone shots of my fields, close-ups of my fences. Someone had trespassed to get those. The rest of that day was me on the phone arguing with real estate websites who needed documents, forms, proof just to take down something that never should have been up in the first place. But it was too late. The floodgates opened. Realtors, developers, random people started showing up. By Friday, 17 different groups tried to tour my land. One slick developer from Denver even cut my lock and drove straight up, all smiles, acting like I was haggling over the price. That's when it clicked. This wasn't Karen being petty. This was full-on war. So I called in reinforcements. Betty Lawson, toughest property lawyer in 3 counties, 40 years of eating land speculators for breakfast. I handed her the bogus listings, and when I showed her the forged sales agreement I'd wrangled out of a real estate agent, she just grinned like a coyote spotting a chicken. "Luke, this is big. Fraud, identity theft, trespassing, forgery. We're about to make someone very sorry." While Betty started digging, I did some snooping of my own. That's when Tom Crawford, a rare good egg from Pine Ridge, cornered me at the coffee shop. "Luke, maybe I shouldn't say this, but Karen's been running her mouth at the HOA meetings. She's showing architectural drawings for a Phase 2 development on your land. I about fell off my stool. She told everyone once you're out, investors would transform the place. But her house about to get foreclosed. Her husband lost his job. They're behind on payments. Word is someone's dangling a developer's cut in front of her." Let me back up a sec. This was the twist I needed. I did some quiet checking. Sure enough, Tom was right. Karen's place was sliding toward foreclosure fast, so I called my cousin Eddie in Denver. Eddie, I need you to set up an investment LLC, make it look corporate, nothing flashy. He just laughs. Luke, you planning a land grab? Just keeping things interesting, I tell him. A week later, Mountain View Holdings LLC was on paper, and when Karen's house hit pre-foreclosure, we were ready. We made a cash offer. The bank, desperate to unload it, jumped at the chance. Sale closed fast. Karen never saw it coming. You ever see karma in real time? I got up early the day the movers arrived. 7 a.m., sharp big truck rumbling down the street. Crew ready to clear the place out. Karen burst out, hair in curlers, screeching at the movers. You've got the wrong house. The foreman, a calm fella named Roberto, just handed her the paperwork. No, ma'am, right address. New owner wants everything cleared by noon. Her face, man, if looks could kill. I walked over, coffee in hand. Morning, Karen. Beautiful day for a move, don't you think? She spun on me, furious. Luke Garrett. What did you do? I flashed the deed. Mountain View Holdings, that's me. Bought your house from the bank. Guess you left out the foreclosure part while you were trying to sell mine. She nearly collapsed. This is harassment, I'll sue. I handed her an envelope, real polite. Speaking of lawsuits, my attorney's suing you for fraud, identity theft, trespassing, and defamation. Oh, and we traced the fake listing straight to your home computer. Maybe pick a stronger password next time. She tried to protest, but the game was up. For the next 3 days, I had a little fun. Every morning, I had construction equipment delivered, backhoe, cement mixer, whatever, blocking her driveway perfectly. She'd come running out yelling about her rights, and I'd remind her the property line was now my business. On day 2, I told her, according to the survey, your driveway runs 2 feet onto my property, so you've actually been trespassing every time you left. But I'm a reasonable man, I'll grant you an easement, just $10,000 a month. Her jaw hit the ground. By day 3, the whole HOA was buzzing. Emergency meeting, everybody up in arms. But when Tom told me what happened, I almost felt sorry for her. She stood in front of the board ranting. But as soon as they learned about the fraud, the lawsuit, the phony listing, nobody stood up for her. They voted her out as president unanimously, well, except her vote. Now here's the kicker. Karen hired some hotshot attorney from Denver, shows up on my porch in a suit worth more than my truck. Mr. Garrett, my client, will see you in court for harassment. Betty happened to be there shuffling papers. She stands up, barely 5'2", but scarier than any judge I know. Wonderful, she says. We just added conspiracy charges since we found your client was negotiating a $500,000 kickback from the developer. Would you like to see the emails? That lawyer was in his car and gone within 10 minutes. Court date came 6 weeks later. Karen showed up with a public defender, looked like he'd already lost. Betty laid out everything, fake documents, emails, security footage, the whole crooked scheme. Judge Harrison, tough as nails, didn't take long. Mrs. Belmont, this goes far beyond a neighbor dispute. You used your power as HOA president to commit fraud, identity theft, conspiracy, and attempted grand theft. The sentence came down like a hammer, guilty on all counts, 18 months in prison, 5 years probation, $250,000 restitution. Karen's knees buckled. Her lawyer had to hold her up. I don't have that kind of money, she whimpered. Then I suggest you sell some assets, the judge said, cold as winter. Court dismissed. As the bailiff led Karen away, her badge hit the floor with a clatter, finally out of other people's business for good. Funny looking back how it all started over a rooster. Sometimes the smallest things kick off the biggest wars. But here's the real question, and I hope folks actually stop to think. Where's the line between protecting your home and abusing power? Did Karen get what she deserved, or did we just see another story where nobody really wins? Drop your thoughts below. Who was right, who was wrong, and what would you have done if it was your land on the line? I'll be here, coffee in hand, waiting to read them.